Hello everyone, welcome to Foundation. This is a wonderful game. If you haven't taken a look at this yet, I highly suggest go and download it, pay for it, whatever it costs, it doesn't matter. The game is fun. It's out on early access right now. There is a link in the description below. The game is a medieval city building game that is gridless. There are no grids, you don't have roads to build, they build the roads themselves, and it's just, I can't even really describe the game, it's just awesome. Like, and I mean, that's my opinion of it, you know, it's just awesome. What I want to do for you guys is I kind of want to create a tutorial series in how to really kind of start the game up. I know it's extreme early access, it just came out, things are going to change, things are going to happen with the game to where it may not always be the same, but this is going to help you kind of gear toward the basics of the game, how logistics in the game work, and just kind of help guide you through that process, okay? So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Alright, so today what I want to do is, obviously with every game you have to start from the beginning, right? So here we are at the beginning of the game. Here's the menu. Very simple, very easy. Not a whole lot going on here, but we're going to click on a new game. The balancing settings, default is the only thing currently right now. Obviously more will come out. The video for this will probably get updated as the game progresses. We'll just have to wait and see. Currently, there are 5 maps. We have hills, coastal, fluvial, mountain, valley. Me, personally, I like fluvial. Fluvial has a lot of streams and rivers and stuff like that. Just because I really like the water aspect of it. And of course, you know, you have your mountains and your valleys, coastal and hills and stuff like that, okay? We're going to go with fluvial. Again, my preference. You guys can start whichever one you want. But just keep in mind, in the areas that have water, that is where you're going to have fish available. Just saying. Alright. So currently right now all the maps are the same. So fluvial map is the same every single time you get into it. There's no real map generation or anything like that that's going to change it or make it any different. So far as I know. Okay. So when you're going through the map and you're looking at it, you're going to have certain areas that you can start out. Other areas you cannot. Okay. Now, the main reason for that is your starting area has to have 2 things. You have to have berries, which are right here, and then you also have to have stone, which is right here. Now, my opinion, what I like to do, I like to look at the map and take a look to see where your iron is. Okay. So we have all of this stuff going on here in the menu, right? I'm going to go through some of that stuff. We'll hit some of the other stuff like, you know, what the labor and the kingdom and clergy, what all that stuff means later on. Okay, this is just to get you started very quickly, very easily. So what I want to do is I want to come down here to desirability layers and I want to look at iron ore. The reason why I want to look at iron ore is because iron ore is actually going to be very, very instrumental in what you need later on down the road. So for me, if I don't build my colony close enough to iron ore, then I'm going to have some issues, okay? It's just the way I like to do it. So here we have an iron ore patch right here. Now, I can't pick that patch itself, but if I wanted to, I could pick this patch right here, or I could pick this one over here. I think what I want to do is, I think we'll go ahead and pick... let's see, that one's like maybe 2 away, that one's maybe 1 away. I think we'll pick this one here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pick this one there. So we'll click on that. Get rid of that desirability area. Now, when you go through and set this up, you have to build your village center. So you're going to come up here to your public build area, click on your village center, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the center of this square. You can put it wherever you want to. For me, I'm going to stick it, I'm kind of going to stick it a little over here because the village center is really where I'm going to have my people. You know, this is where the people are going to be. This is where they're going to go. It's the center of the village. I kind of want to keep them away from the industrial areas that are going to happen over here with the gathering of the rock and the berries and the trees and everything else. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause the game real quick so this thing doesn't keep going like crazy. Now, in the beginning, you start off with 8 newcomers. Obviously, their global happiness right here, this is what you really need to focus on in order to get more people in here, okay? You need to make your people happy. So, with our 8 newcomers, there are certain things that you have to have in the very beginning in order to make yourself prosperous, okay? So, starting out, all of this stuff, basically everything that's right here, is what you need first. Don't pay any attention to anything on the monuments, because you're not going to be able to do anything yet, except for the market. And then decoration, obviously, you don't have access to that yet, because you have to have 1 serf. Once you build this beginning stuff, you'll get a serf. It'll happen, okay? So, first thing that I want to do, very first item that's on here, I want a lumber camp. And then I want to make sure that these camps and resource areas that I'm putting down are near the resources that I'm going to gather. Last thing you want to do is you don't want to have your resource people travel far for what they need, because it's just going to take forever for them to get it, right? Makes sense. All right, so we have a lumber camp, we have a gathering hut, and then we have a stonecutter camp. So let's go ahead and get these set down. We'll take the lumber camp, and we'll put the lumber camp... You know what? We're going to set it right over here. Okay. And then we'll take the gathering hut, and we'll go ahead and set it over here. Now, you see the green arrows that's on here, okay? So these green arrows are the entrance and exits of how the people go into the buildings and kind of where your roads form off of. All right. So the lumber camp, I made sure that it was kind of turned a little... Of course, I don't remember which way I turned it now. I think it was turned that way, something like that, to where it's coming out this way. The gathering hut, I'm going to do the same thing in a sense. I'm going to make sure it's pointing down this way, because that'll be a fairly easy way to make sure my road is going in the right direction. And then the stonecutter camp, same thing. We'll take it and we'll put it, let's put it right here next to the stone. Now, got the game paused right now, so nothing obviously is going to happen. But what you have to make sure of with these newcomers, you have to make sure you have at least 1 builder. I recommend 2. So we'll just click on a random person here. So Yolande will be a builder, and this guy, Harry will become a builder. So you just go ahead and click on builder to assign them as builders, or you can come over here to your villager list, and then you can click on whoever you want. So if we click on John, we can make John a builder. If you don't want that person to be a builder anymore, just click on it again, and it takes it right off of there. So we'll go ahead and hit play on the game. So you can hit spacebar to pause the game or make the game go faster. There are currently, as far as I know, there are no quick steps or quick keys or anything like that that you can assign for the increase of speed. We'll just go ahead and do that. You can go up to 3 times. Now, as you can see, you see this little itty-bitty path here that he has formed. So that path will form and keep forming deeper and deeper and further and become more defined the more that they are going over to these areas. I'll go ahead and pause this again, because they're starting to build stuff a little bit faster than what I imagined they were going to. All right. So the roads themselves will build. They'll get the grooves in there. Nothing you can do with it. You can't demolish the road. You can't create a road or anything like that. Next thing we need to do is up here for your zones, your paint development zones, you have to have an extraction area. So with every resource that you need to gather, you need to make sure you have an extraction area over that resource. And it doesn't have to be, very big or anything like that. For the stone, you can just do that. Very simple. In order to adjust this, you can hit Control and then move your mouse wheel up and down, which makes this go bigger and smaller. If, say, this isn't where you want that to be, right-click gets rid of it, left-click puts it down. And then I want to go ahead and let's make that a little bit smaller. We'll put the extraction zone there. And then we will put an extraction zone. Granted, it's overlapping, so that's okay. We'll put the extraction zone over the trees here. Now, as you notice, this yellow border is our area. Okay, that's our, so what do you, how do you want to put it? That's our land. Okay, that's the land that we own. The extraction zone will not go out of what we own. Okay, it'll just stop it right there, which is fine. It actually makes it really easy to go ahead and put the extraction zone down. Now, what you can do, and what I've been told, is this forbidden land, you can take this and kind of paint an area along where maybe you want a road to be. If you wanted to do that, you know, then they have to follow that line that goes through there. Me, I want them to form the line itself. Now, what I'm doing to erase that is I'm right-clicking and holding just to get rid of it. Now, if I right-click and hold and go over the extraction zone, nothing's going to happen because it is not that particular zone, which is good because that creates us from making mistakes. All right, so now that they've got all of this built up and we have our extraction zones laid out, we need to assign workers. Okay, now lumber camps and gathering huts have 3 people available to them. You know what? Let me do this. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys so that you can see it a little bit more. So if you go up to menu, you go up to settings, you can actually take your scale and go to 1.5. Boom. There. Done. Bigger. Now you can see it a little bit better. All right. So we have 3 available here. And then for your stone cutters, you have, once they, well, they're not done yet. Once they get it in there, they'll have 5. Now, obviously, we don't have, what, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 people available to us right now. We only have 8. So I'm just going to assign 1 villager to each of these currently. So we have 1, 2, and 3. 2 builders gives us 5. All right, now that you have that all taken care of, what will end up happening is that you will get a request up here to start doing some quests. The main quest that you have right now is to raise your village to a status of commoner. Okay. We'll cover that later. Right now, we want to build and set up a market, which is going to be assigned to sell the berries that we're gathering here. This stuff, it walks you through it very, very easily and very, very nicely, so that you can just continue on with the game. So that is going to be our next step. So we'll come up here to the build public buildings, over to monuments, click on our market, and then you've got this huge menu that pops up. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel overwhelmed. It's okay. It's all right. All of it will make sense later on. So what you want to do is you just want to click on a food stall. That's all you need. Just a food stall, because that's what we're going to be selling. And then if you hit control, or hold control, I should say, and then move your mouse back and forth, left to right, it actually rotates this around. Okay, so the little white dot that you see on the back there, that is what a tent will grab onto. For now, we don't need to worry about the tent because that'll use up goods that we're going to need later on. So don't worry about the tent. The tent can be added later on. Okay. Now your market, you can put anywhere that you want to. You can put it around the village center if you want, or you can put it on the path that's going out of town into this little area. Up to you. Me, personally, I like to kind of have it off this little path that's right here. And we'll just stick it right there. Again, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to leave it there. And then it actually does give you the total cost of what it's going to cost to build this thing. So it's going to be 10 logs. All right. No upfront cost, meaning that you don't have to build your stock up in order to get it. We can just go ahead and click on Start Construction. It's going to be really simple, really easy to get that knocked out of the way. And then up here is where all of your resources currently are. So we have 14 berries, 10 tools available, and then 28 wood. Now, if you want to see a full list of all of the resources that you have available to you, click on your toggle resource panel, and that will show everything that you have. So we currently do have 10 linen, 14 berries, 10 tools, 18, and then, yeah, so it's all there. It is. It's all there, except for the linen. The linen's the only thing not there. We don't need to worry about that yet. All right, so now that we've built a market, we need to assign another villager over here, okay? Again, this is why you're limiting how many villagers you're assigning to each place. because you don't have any right now, except for just the 8. Now, you do have the villager information window. It shows you how long until more people come in here. Okay, so that's 54 days from now. It's going to take a while. The main reason for that, though, is because your happiness is crap. Your happiness right now is 0, and that's just the way it is in the beginning of the game. I know I'm getting a little distracted right now, but bear with me, all right? So the higher that this goes, the lower or the less number of days it'll take for immigration, for people to come into your city, all right? So just a quick little spot on that. So that's why we want to limit the amount of people that we're assigning to who works where. That's what I was getting at. All right, so we've assigned Elizabeth over here to the market. Now, you have to make sure, and this is something very important, and this is something that I've done all the time. You can't just put a food market in and say, okay, we're done. Nope, you have to make sure you assign that worker there. Plus, you have to click on slot 1 and select the food that you want to sell. Obviously, right now, the only thing that we have is berries, so we're going to select berries. That gives us a quest complete, gives us 100 gold. Woohoo! We're done. Well, not quite. The next thing that it wants us to do is it wants us to unlock a trade route. Well, here's the thing. We still have 54 days, and again, this is still the beginning setup. We'll go into the trade routes and how trading works in the next episode, all right? What I want to do to prepare for that, since I still have 54 days until someone comes in, until I get 2 new villagers, because that's what happens in immigration with this game. You get 2 new villagers in every single time. Well, the next thing that I need, if we click on our public buildings, we have a sawmill available to us. So the sawmill is the next thing that I want to build. Typically, I like to keep the sawmill near the lumber camp because, well, it just kind of makes sense. So my green arrow is up there at the top. So we'll just put the sawmill right across from the lumber camp. Go ahead and get that built. Now, if you want to see what something requires to build, just hover over. You get some starting resources out at the very beginning. So with the lumber camp, it cost us 20 gold up front. We needed 5 tools to build it. Gathering hut was just 10 wood. Stonecutter camp was 10 wood and 5 tools. The sawmill, and this is why you wait to build this until a little bit later, the sawmill costs 20 wood and 10 stone. Obviously, you have to have the stone cutter in here first, or the stonecutter camp, before you can build the sawmill. Just makes sense, right? Logistically, makes sense. Now, the well in the warehouse, we're not really going to go into quite just yet. Well, we will on the well. So the well, we will on the well? Well, we will on the well. Okay, anyway. The well, I actually do like to have kind of toward the village center. So we'll just go ahead and let's just place the well right there. But again, with the well, you need to have stone, okay? So everything really kind of goes in order on the order that it needs to be built. Lumber camp, gathering hut, stonecutter camp first, sawmill next, then your well. The warehouse I'll get into in the next episode, okay? We'll get into that when we do the trading. And then obviously the market for the food. Now, the food in the very beginning, that is what is going to help sell goods in your town, which will help bring in gold, which is what will help increase that. Which, again, that'll be something completely different as well. All right, now we have the sawmill taken care of. When you click on that, it gives you the opportunity to have 3 people assigned to it. We're just going to do 1 for now, and then that's it. That is all the people that you have. Well, technically, I think we've only used like 7. If you click on your villager list, what I like to do, I like to sort by job because all of the unemployed people go down to the bottom. It goes in alphabetical order, but anyone unemployed goes to the bottom. Now, you might be asking, well, why do you have 2 builders when you can use, one of those builders for somewhere else? Me, personally, I like to use the 2 builders, and I'm sure I said this just a minute ago. I use 2 of them because I like to get things built faster, okay? And you don't really necessarily need those other villagers anywhere else at that point in time. Now, with this last person that I have left, Anna, I'm going to take Anna, however you want to put it. I have people that I work with. Their name is spelt just like that, and they're named Anna, okay? It's just, so get used to it. So what I'm going to do with Anna is I'm going to take Anna and I'm going to assign her over here to the stonecutter camp. Because we need a lot more stone than what we do wood or berries or anything else right now. And there you go. There you have it. That is my simple start, my simple how-to guide on how to get started in this game very easily. So we are now already at the very beginning of this. We are producing logs, berries, stone, and planks in the sawmill. All of that is being done, and we are selling berries already to our people. So there you go. That is all I have for you guys today. Questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do so. There's plenty more where this came from. I'm planning on doing this throughout this entire game. And then I'm also going to be looking at some other games too on how to do some easy start guides, or the way I like to play it. This is what I do. Okay. So anyway, that is all I have. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. I'm challenging all of my viewers to give the videos that I upload at least 10 likes. If we can get 10 likes, that'll be great. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.